What would you do if your entire family abandoned you to die in the wilderness? Most people would just, die. But one kid decided to get revenge by literally conquering the world. By the time he was done, his empire had killed 11% of the world's population. And believe it or not, that might have been good for the planet. Let me explain. Welcome to the story of how the largest empire in history started with one kid eating rats to survive. The birth of Genghis Khan, a clenched blood clot. Our story starts in 1162 on the endless grasslands of Mongolia. Temujin, the boy who would become Genghis Khan, was born clutching a blood clot in his fist. Bad omen? Maybe. In Mongol culture, this was seen as a sign that he was destined for greatness. However, Temujin's early life was filled with hardship and struggle. Temujin's father, Yesuge, was the chief of Borjigin tribe, one of the many nomadic clans that roamed the Mongolian steppe. When Temujin was just 9 years old, Yesuge was poisoned by rivals from the Tatars, a powerful neighboring tribe. His death left Temujin's family destitute and abandoned by their clansmen, who saw weakness in the young boy and his widowed mother. Left to fend for themselves on the harsh steppe, Temujin and his family were forced to eat wild rodents like rats and mammoths just to survive. These early experiences of betrayal, struggle, and survival would shape Temujin's character and worldview, forging him into a figure of extraordinary resilience and determination. From slave to survivor, the rise of Temujin. As a teenager, Temujin's life took an even darker turn when he was captured in a raid by the Tayuchud, a rival Mongol clan. Enslaved and humiliated, he endured a brutal period of captivity. But even in chains, Temujin never lost sight of his ambition and destiny. One night, he made a daring escape, eluding his captors and embarking on a journey that would lead him to his future wife, Ortha, and his early allies. Temujin began to build a name for himself as a leader known for his courage, charisma, and strategic cunning. He started forming alliances with other outcasts, younger sons, and minor clans, uniting them with the promise of sharing the spoils of war equally. Temujin's followers became fiercely loyal to him, bound not by blood ties, but by bonds of mutual respect and loyalty, a radical departure from the traditional tribal structures of the steppe. Blood brothers and betrayal, the Jamuka Rivalry. One of Temujin's most important early relationships was with Jamuka, a Jadaran prince who became his Anda, a blood brother with whom he swore eternal friendship and loyalty. However, their relationship soured as Temujin's power and ambition grew. Jamuka began to see his blood brother as a rival for supremacy over the Mongol clans. In 1201, Jamuka railed a coalition of tribes against Temujin in a bid to check his growing influence. The two armies met at the Battle of the 13 Sides, a turning point that would cement Temujin's rise to the power. In a fierce clash, Temujin emerged victorious, his army bolstered by brilliant cavalry tactics and the loyalty of his followers. Jamuka fled into exile, and Temujin solidified his control over the Mongol heartlands. Revolutionizing leadership, merit over birthright. As Temujin extended his control over more Mongol clans, he began to implement the revolutionary leadership and organizational reforms that would become a hallmark of the Mongol Empire. Unlike the traditional clan hierarchies based on family and blood ties, Temujin promoted his followers based on individual merit, loyalty, and ability. He abolished aristocratic titles and gave all his subjects equal rights and protection under the law, proclaiming, "Anyone who has the ability shall be promoted. Anyone without ability shall be demoted." Temujin organized his army into squads of 10 warriors called Arbans with unmatched discipline and coordination. He promoted officers who had proven themselves in battle over those of noble birth, creating a military meritocracy. He also overhauled Mongol society, banning the kidnapping of wives, abolishing inherited titles, and implementing a revolutionary law code called the Yasa that would govern the empire. These visionary reforms created a unified, disciplined, and highly motivated military and administrative force that would prove unbeatable on the world stage. Mongol Warriors, the John Wick of the 13th century. At the core of the Mongol Empire's astonishing expansion was the unrivaled skill and adaptability of its warriors. Mongol soldiers were the finest horsemen and archers the world had ever seen, capable of shooting arrows with a deadly accuracy while riding at the full gallop. Each warrior had 5 or more horses, allowing the army to travel vast distances at a breakneck speed, covering up to 100 miles a day. This mobility allowed the Mongols to launch devastating surprise attacks, outmaneuver enemy armies, and retreat quickly when needed. Mongol warriors were also master survivalists, able to endure extreme temperatures, live off the milk and blood of their horses, and forage or hunt for food on the move. Armed with powerful composite bows, lances, and sabers, they overwhelm their enemies with a hail of arrows, then charge in to finish them off at close quarters. Military innovation, the corporate structure of war. Temujin, now proclaimed Genghis Khan, or universal ruler of the Mongol clans, revolutionized warfare with his organizational innovations. He structured his army in a decimal system of squads of 10, 100, 1000, and 10,000, called tumen, allowing for unprecedented coordination and flexibility on the battlefield. This military structure, inspired by the Mongols' nomadic lifestyle and hunting practices, functioned like a highly efficient corporation. Orders could be rapidly relayed from Khan and his generals down to the front line, allowing the Mongols to outmaneuver and outflank their enemies with ease. Genghis Khan also employed sophisticated intelligence, gathering psychological warfare and siegecraft. His spies infiltrated enemy cities, sowing disinformation and fear. He spread rumors of the Mongols' terrifying cruelty, often accepting the surrender of the cities without even a fight. When a city did resist, the Mongols employed captured engineers to build catapults, battering rams, and siege towers to batter down its walls. This is just the beginning of the empire that controlled 24% of Earth's total landmass. If you're interested to find out more, come back next week to find out how one empire killed so many people that they accidentally performed history's largest climate change experiment. Until then, Bayartai.